Hello and welcome to this 24-hour reading vlog. Today is the 24-hour readathon within the Make Your Myth Take a Readathon, which is the readathon I'm participating in this month. If you want to see my TBR video for that, I'll leave it up above. I'm dressed like a pirate, so it's definitely worth a watch. So today is the first of, I think, 3 or 4 24-hour readathons, which is basically a day in which you read as much as you can. And this month so far I'm having a little bit of trouble with just sitting down and reading for long periods of time. I'm on my second book of the readathon. I need to read 4 books in total, and we're almost halfway through the month, so I have to pick up my pace a little bit. So for the readathon I'm going for the pirate path. If you want to know more about everything and you're confused about what I'm talking about, I'll leave the announcement video down below. So for the pirate path I drew a cool treasure map in my bullet journal. And as you can see, I started here. And the first prompt was to read a book featuring water, which I've done. And that was Don't Date Rosa Santos, which was absolutely wonderful. I really loved that book, so that was a great start to the readathon. And now I'm over here in the dark bay or dark cave. I don't really remember what I called it. The dark bay. And I have to read a book with a dark cover. And for that, I'm currently reading On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. This is a very big book, but luckily it is a graphic novel, so it does read fairly quickly. This is a science fiction graphic novel about Mia, who becomes part of a crew of people who restore old planets and old buildings for future use. It tells her story and her love story with another character. And so far I'm about halfway in, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm absolutely loving it, in fact. It turns out it's also perfect for Pride Month because the main relationship is between 2 women. In fact, I don't think I've seen any heterosexual relationships in this so far. All I've seen are women falling in love with each other. There's also a non-binary character, and it's just an all-round queer fun time. So my goal for today for the 24-hour readathon is to finish this. And I've already missed the first 10 hours of the 24-hour readathon because it started at midnight. But I went to sleep and then slept in because I've been really tired these past few days. So I'm just going to take it easy today. I am planning on reading a lot, but I might also do some other things in between. I don't think my eyes will enjoy reading the entire day, but yes, I'll keep you posted. So I said my goal for today was to finish On a Sunbeam, but it's now 1:30 and I've already finished it. So I think I can set another goal for myself, and this was a little bit too easy. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to rate this, but I'm leaning towards a 5-star because this was absolutely amazing. I think the only reason why I'm a bit reluctant to give it 5 stars is because I've given out a lot of 5-star ratings recently, but that's a dumb reason, so okay, I'm going to give this 5 stars, it's decided. So there are quite a few reasons why I love this so much. The characters are absolutely amazing. The idea of found family is very much present in this book, and there wasn't a man in sight, which doesn't necessarily have to be a good thing, but it was refreshing. All of the relationships in here are female-female. There is a non-binary character, like I said, and men just aren't even mentioned, so I'm even wondering if in this universe they exist. But for a non-binary character to exist, I guess there should be a binary, so there has to be men and women. I'm not sure. Anyway, that was just something I picked up on while reading the book and I thought it was interesting. But the plot is also very good. There's this love story between 2 characters that features heavily, but it happened in the past, so you learn about it through flashbacks. I don't want to say too much about the plot because when I started this book I didn't have any idea about where it would go, but it got very exciting. There's an epic journey in here, there's some space traveling, and the relationships between these characters, the friendships, but also the romantic relationships are really well done too. And I also really love the world building. Not that much is explained. I kept wondering about oxygen for these characters. It doesn't seem like they need to wear special suits in space as they do their work of reconstruction, of rebuilding buildings or tearing them down. It's a very original space story and it doesn't feel like it needs to rely on rules we impose on space stories and space in general. So that was very refreshing as well. So all that together, the plot, the world building, the characters and the queer elements, which I really loved, were amazing. And then the artwork is also some of the most amazing artwork I've ever seen in a graphic novel. The use of color, or the lack thereof, to convey emotions and different times, different time frames, and just paint a picture, set an atmosphere, was very well done. I think this is a book that I might want to reread. It was quite a chunky novel, but in the end I got through it very quickly. And it's just so incredibly beautiful. I've been loving sci-fi lately, and reading a sci-fi graphic novel has been a great addition to that. And having said that, the next book for my Make Your Myth Taker readathon, Pirate Path, is also a sci-fi novel, so this is going to be a bit of a sci-fi themed vlog. The third book I'm going to read is A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Angle. Shit, I still don't know how to pronounce her name. I think this is a middle grade novel and it's a bit of a children's classic. I actually don't know when it was written. It was written in 1962. That's a long time ago. I know it was adapted into a film a few years ago, which is why I bought this book, I think. I haven't watched the film, I haven't read the book yet, so that turned out well. But this is for the third prompt, which is to read a book featuring a journey. And in this, a few children go on a journey to find their father, I think. Yes, in search of their missing father. I don't know more about it than that, but I think it will be a quick read. It is 250 pages. I'm not going to say I'll be able to read this in one day, but I might be able to read this in one day. Also, I just wanted to point out those flowers which my boyfriend just bought for me when he went to do the groceries. They're, I don't know what they're called in English. Gerberas? I don't know, but I really love them and they're bright colors, so they make me really happy. It's almost 4 o'clock now and I'm about to join the live Instagram read-in on the Mythtake channel or account. I'm not really sure what that's called on Instagram. I've never participated in a live reading, read-along thing before, so I think that's going to be fun. In the meantime, I've also been reading, of course, because it is a 24-hour readathon. I'm now 2 chapters into A Wrinkle in Time, and I'm really enjoying this. For the first couple of pages, I did have to get into it a little bit, which is, of course, pretty logical, I think. And I was a bit confused about what was going on because I don't know anything about this book other than at some point these kids are going to travel through time and space. But the main character is Meg, who is about 12 years old, I think, maybe a little younger than that, but I think 12. And her little brother Charles Wallace, who is described as a small child, and I don't think he's going to school yet, so he's quite small. And Charles is a bit odd, and the people in the village think he's a moron, but he's actually quite smart. He talks in full sentences much more eloquently than I could ever say them, case in point. And he somehow always knows what Meg and their mother is thinking and feeling, or what has happened to them even. He doesn't exactly read their minds, but it is something a little similar to that. So that's already a bit of a strange factor in this book. And the kids have just met Calvin, who was mentioned on the back as being their friend, and he seems to have similar kind of abilities as Charles. And Charles and Meg's father has been gone for a few years now, and they haven't heard from him. But right now I think they're kind of getting ready to go look for him. They've met a few weird women who live in the haunted house up the hill where nobody ever goes, and they seem to have strange abilities and they know about stuff, and they told Charles and Meg's mother that the Tesseract is real. So I'm very intrigued. I am very much looking forward to seeing where this goes. It all seems very modern so far, even though this is a book from the 60s, and I'm having a really good time with it, even though I've only just really started. So yeah, definitely a fun sci-fi day. It's a few minutes to 12, which means the readathon is almost over, and I have just finished A Wrinkle in Time. My boyfriend said I wouldn't be able to do it, and if anything will make me do something, it is people telling me I won't be able to do it, especially when it comes to reading. I'm still a bit amazed that I did it. I read 500 pages today, which is insane for me. I was just planning on finishing on a sunbeam, but that went much quicker than expected, and now I have finished 2 books today, which was beyond my expectations by far. And I'm also absolutely exhausted now. But I really enjoyed A Wrinkle in Time, otherwise I wouldn't have finished it today. I read about 5 chapters before dinner, and then I figured I wouldn't push myself because it seemed like way too much to read before the end of the readathon. And my boyfriend and I actually watched a film. We watched Batman Begins, which is the first Batman film in Christopher Nolan's trilogy, which is a trilogy I've been wanting to watch for a long time now. And that film is about 2.5 hours, so we watched that until 9:30, and then I figured, well, I'll just do a little bit more reading. But then it got really exciting and I just wanted to keep on reading. And then I figured, well, with only 70 pages more to go, I might as well finish it. So that's how that went. I'm not sure yet what my rating of this will be. I think it will be 3.5 or 4 stars. I thought this was a very cool adventure story. I really liked the main character, Meg. I liked her little brother, Charles Wallace, and their companion, Calvin, as well. They were a fun trio to go on this adventure with. I thought the planet that they ended up on was very interesting. I'm not going to go into detail about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but a few concepts were at work there that I thought were very interesting. But most of the plot, or most of the conflict overall, did rely on the idea of good versus evil. So pure good versus pure evil. And I know it's a children's book, but that's just a bit too black and white for me, but I can excuse it because of the fact that this book is 60 years old. Most children's stories and fantasy and sci-fi stories in general were way more about good versus evil back then, I think. There were also some references to God and Christianity that weren't entirely necessary as far as I'm concerned. But again, this was a book written in the US in the 60s, so I get where it's coming from, but those things took me out of the story a little bit, so I think I'm going to go for 3.5 stars, but I might sleep on it and decide tomorrow, because I'm tired and I really want to go to bed. That's it for this vlog. I didn't do much, most of it was just reading, so I hope this was interesting to watch. I think it was fun that this ended up being a very sci-fi focused vlog. I'm really enjoying sci-fi a lot lately, so this was a lot of fun. And I wasn't planning on reading this much when I woke up this morning. I wasn't even planning on vlogging when I woke up this morning. But I'm really excited to have had such a good reading day. And I'm excited to move on to my fourth and final book for the Pirate Path of the Make Your Myth Taker readathon, which is The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. But that's for tomorrow. Right now I'm just going to end this vlog and wish you good night, even though you're most likely not watching this before bed, but whatever. So please like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. In a comment down below, tell me what you've just finished reading or finished reading recently and what your thoughts on that were. And have a wonderful day. Bye!